When did the family who called you a monster come crawling back for help? After I inherited Grandpa's house, my whole family turned on me. Said I was selfish, greedy, didn't deserve it since I never visited him anyway. My cousins especially hated that I got the family home while they got nothing. They called me every name in the book. Monster was their favorite. Said I manipulated a dying old man, probably forged the will. At his funeral, my cousin Mike actually stood up during the service and said, "Some people prey on the elderly for money." Everyone in that chapel knew he meant me. Thanksgiving that year was absolutely brutal. They made me sit at the holdout kids table while the adults discussed how disappointed Grandpa would be with my selfish behavior. My Aunt Janet kept making passive-aggressive comments about how certain people weren't raised with proper family values. My own mother wouldn't even make eye contact with me during dinner. The house was a complete disaster when I inherited it. Pipes leaked disgusting brown water everywhere. The roof had holes you could throw a basketball through, and foundation cracks so wide I could stick my entire hand through them. The furnace hadn't worked properly in 5 years. Grandpa had been living with space heaters and bottled water, basically camping in his own home. I spent the next 2 years pouring every single cent I had into fixing that place. Took out 3 different loans, worked overtime constantly at my job, learned plumbing and electrical work from YouTube videos. My family mocked me at every opportunity they got, throwing good money after bad, they'd say whenever they drove past and saw me on the roof. Should have just sold it and split the cash like any decent person would do. Mike would post on Facebook about my money pit obsession. Janet told everyone at church I was having some kind of mental breakdown, wasting my life savings on a condemned house. Even my own brother stopped answering my calls because his wife said I was too depressing to be around anymore. The absolute worst part was when I had to skip my daughter's birthday party because I couldn't afford the $50 gift after paying for emergency plumbing that week. My sister made sure everyone knew exactly why I wasn't there. Sarah's too busy playing house with a dead man's junk to care about her living family members. 2 years, 4 months, and $83,000 later, I finally got the place completely livable. New roof, updated electrical system, working plumbing throughout, fresh paint in every single room. I was exhausted and completely broke, but genuinely proud of what I'd accomplished. Then the letters started coming. Official government letterhead from Midwest Mining Corporation. They wanted to discuss my property sitting above what they called a significant lithium deposit. The meeting was absolutely surreal. 3 people in expensive suits sitting in my freshly painted kitchen, spreading out detailed geological maps and survey results all over my table. Conservative estimate, the lead guy said while adjusting his glasses. We're looking at $12 million worth of extractable lithium. We'd like to offer $8 million upfront plus 15% royalties on everything we extract over the next 20 years. I just stared at that contract for 10 solid minutes, unable to believe the numbers I was seeing. Word travels incredibly fast in small towns, especially when mining company trucks start showing up on your street every day. My phone started ringing the very next morning. Mike, who hadn't spoken to me since the funeral. "Hey Sarah, I've been meaning to call you for months. How are you doing? I heard some really interesting rumors about Grandpa's old place. Maybe we should grab coffee and catch up properly." Aunt Janet called an hour later. "Sweetie, I've been feeling absolutely terrible about how we all treated you. Family should stick together through everything. I was wondering if we could sit down and talk about Grandpa's legacy and how we can all honor his memory together." My brother was next. "Look, I know we've had our differences, but blood is blood, right? Mom's been crying every night about how we pushed you away. We want to make things right. Also, is it true about some mining thing?" Thursday night, my entire family showed up at my door completely unannounced. They were carrying flowers and takeout from my favorite restaurant. "We've been absolutely horrible," my mother said with tears streaming down her face. "We let jealousy make us rule." They sat in my living room, the same room they'd called worthless, suddenly praising how beautiful everything looked. Then Mike cleared his throat. "Sarah, we've been talking about Grandpa's estate. We think there might have been oversights. Family property should benefit the whole family, right?" I looked around at their whole faces, the same faces that called me a monster for 3 years. "You're absolutely right," I said, standing up. "Monsters don't deserve nice things." I showed them the mining contract, $12 million. "But you taught me I'm not family. Monsters don't share." The contract was signed the next morning. $8 million hit my account a week later.